Or if they're saying something to you, maybe you're slow getting back to them because they're starting to see that as time goes on, they don't have the same hold on you that they used to. Hi everyone, and welcome to Divine Resolution Tarot. This is your twin flame love reading for the month of September. There's a lot going on in the twin flame community lately, I feel like, so I've been guided to make a twin flame channel. I'll be doing a reading for Karmic partners on that channel next, so I'll link it down below. If you're interested in that reading, you can find it there. And I'll be uploading more twin flame readings, so if there's something that you want to see, usually I'm talking to the divine feminine. If you want certain kinds of content that's twin flame specific, feel free to let me know, and then that way I can put it on that channel so that I'm not bombarding people who don't have a twin with twin flame content, and you will have your own special place to be. All right, so looking at your spread, I'm checking out the bottom of the deck right now. I'm seeing a lot of cards talking about there being a commitment, and then 7 of Swords, 5 of Swords reversed. Now, I'm not picking up on this being a commitment between you and your divine masculine. This is likely with a karmic partner, being that I'm seeing an energy of this being very public, and then there being a lot of stuff behind the scenes as far as like energy of secrecy, right? Energy of like, I'm not really in love with this person. I don't really want this person. I'm just doing this for the clout. I'm doing this for social media. And it ending up with the 5 of Swords reversed, showing that this actually backfired on the masculine energy and created a massive burden in their life. I am seeing the dissolution of this commitment with the 10 of Wands reversed being followed by the 10 of Swords. So it looks like everybody involved in their situation, they're tired, they're frustrated, they're ready for something new. This has been kind of a painful situation, not in the sense that the masculine is emotionally involved. I'm not seeing that here at all. This is more the energy of like, I tried with my feminine. She had, or he had, boundaries set up. 7 of Wands, 4 of Swords. So very much energy of like the masculine could have apologized or said something along the lines of, hey, I screwed up, or would you be open to seeing me? And this could have even been quite some time ago is what I'm seeing. She is 9 months, but this could have been a while ago, and I feel like this has been kind of ongoing. It looks like there's this energy of masculine making efforts towards the feminine, but they're very like watered down or kind of half-assed. And then it looks like as soon as feminine doesn't take the bait, masculine goes and does something else, and then it doesn't work out, and then masculine comes back with maybe a little better offer, and then feminine is like, hey, I just watched you do this over here, I'm good, and then masculine leaves again. So this has been not just one offer, last year or last month. This is like an ongoing cycle, it seems. It seems as though you and your masculine haven't been in any kind of union for quite some time. And it's almost like this person just has a tendency of coming in for energy or coming in and out when what they're doing isn't working. I'm not seeing a union here for a while. I do see something way back here. But what happened was when you met this person, your feminine energy activated, right? Like you leveled up, you wanted to work on yourself, and become a better version of yourself is what I'm seeing here. And that actually is what caused this separation. Could be 4 years ago, could be 3 years ago. So this has been like just years of this person coming in and out, sending lukewarm messages, not being completely available, always keeping something on the side, and really just kind of testing your boundaries, trying to see if what you've been working on is real, if you really do believe like what your cause is, right? If you left because they weren't growing and you're like, hey, I just need something more for me, or I need something better. It's like they are doing everything but what they should be doing, which is to just address this devil in the room, right? This toxicity within themselves. It's like they're testing you, they go off with other people, that doesn't work, they come back. Just a whole lot of distractions, right? A lot of distractions. And it's almost like a rebellious energy where when you say no, right, or you're like, hey, you know, you're not doing the work on yourself, I don't see how this would benefit me where I'm at, right? It's almost like they go harder in whatever it is they do next to try to punish you in a way or make you feel like you missed out, right? So back to this commitment here, and like I said, I'm going to explore that more on the Twin Flame channel, just so this video doesn't get too long, because I'm seeing a lot of deception, and I'm actually seeing that blow up in the masculine space, like I said, because it's created so much of a burden for them. You know, this is not just like the intensity of the 10 of Swords where you're trying to figure out where to go next or what to do next, but this is actually having to physically effort, right? So it could be that they moved in together and now the masculine is having to move out and work more and save money. There's an energy of feeling as though one person was carrying all of the relationship, and then it's like they just kind of threw that person off. Like, this is as far as I go. The rest is up to you. I'm done. Figure it out. You know, so it's very possible that the masculine was somehow relying on the feminine karmic, or the karmic was relying on the masculine in some way. And whoever just got sick of it is what it looks like, because I'm not really seeing a lot of pentacles here. There's nothing signifying like shared wealth. I did see the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. So it's very possible that whoever... There's one of two possibilities here. Either the masculine energy ended up with this gold digger, or the masculine energy ended up with someone who has a lot of money and they thought that they could better themselves or upgrade their life, because that's kind of what they're looking for, is the upgrade. Like, they feel like you've upgraded, but they're looking at it from a very superficial 3D perspective. So to them, that was an upgrade to be with someone who maybe was in different social circles or had more, right, than they were used to. And it looks like whoever was footing the bill, because it's 50-50 is what I'm seeing here. For half of you, your masculine went off with somebody who had more. For the other half of you, they wanted someone more codependent. And so they have been footing the bill for that person, right? But whoever was footing the bill got really sick of it, and now they're just kind of like, whatever, I've paid for you, like, I want back, you know, my time, I want back my money, my energy. I don't care, right? I don't care about this. I don't want to build anymore. So I'm seeing somebody scramble to figure out what the plan is. What's interesting though is if you are in contact with your masculine with this Hermit reverse, Six of Cups reverse, ending this bottom spread, this situation has happened before. You've watched your masculine do this before. This is actually a cycle that it's like for everything they did and everywhere they went, they're right back where they started, maybe way back here, right? When you first met them. This is something you've seen before. Either when you met them, they were with someone who is super codependent, or when you met them, they were chasing superficiality and trying to be with somebody who had more. And it's like you took the exit off the highway of karma, right? You leveled up. You're like, I gotta get myself together. I can't keep going around with you. Whereas they created more of exactly what they were in around the time you met them is really what this looks like. And it's because they're avoiding having to do the work and really sit with themselves. They're also avoiding having to establish some kind of connection or relationship with a higher power, whatever that is for them, whatever they believe in. They are not willing to trust or have faith or open up to receive any kind of messages. This person is incredibly blocked off through their sorrow, through their grief, through their guilt. But a lot of this is something that they've made through their own actions, right? And because they're in this really lower vibrational energy at this time, source can't speak to the masculine, right? It's very like they're just so incredibly blocked that this had to happen, to the point that it's actually more severe than anything you've seen, simply because God is trying to break this person open, right? Put them at their lowest point so that they have to submit. They have to submit to something bigger than themselves. They have to release control, because a lot of this, it's very superficial. It's about control. It's about what people see when they look at them, their persona, their reputation, what they have. And this is just like really led them astray. You know, I think this person has some real misconceptions around what masculine energy is, right? That's something that I'm picking up very strongly on. So moving into your spread for the month of September, you're coming in with King of Pentacles. So you're doing great, right? There's a lot of abundance around you. If not yet, give it time, because this is something that it would be a result of your own hard work, right? King of Pentacles has been through all the suits, or through all of the stages of the Pentacles, and the suits as well. Pentacles is actually the last suit in the tarot. So this is somebody who has done the work. They've learned the lessons, and they're being crowned like king, right? Of everything. You've done it all. The thing is, though, you're wrapping up, right? This is interesting because you're completing a cycle where it probably feels like nothing has really been happening in your life, because you've been doing like the incremental, very slow, boring work. And so now that's coming to a close. You've finished something. It could be a degree, it could be a business plan, it could be a move, it could be a certificate, whatever, right? But the thing is that it's taken so long. You've probably gotten kind of frustrated throughout this process, because this has not been a small ordeal, right? Whereas the masculine is avoiding the process. It's like they're looking for cheat codes, or they're looking for shortcuts, and you stayed the course, and you just, ate the elephant one bite at a time and kept like hunkering down and really staying focused. They're only in the Three of Swords reversed for the month of September. So I want you to be a little bit cautious of this situation for a few reasons. I'm seeing you coming in with your King of Pentacles Justice. They're coming in with Three of Swords reverse Emperor. There's an energy of them having ignored you for a really long time, or avoided having very difficult discussions or taking accountability. Or maybe this is someone who has a tendency to block you, or like leave you on red, or say that they're sorry, but then not take the action required to show you that there is an understanding of what they did, right, after the fact. Like, or, hey, I said sorry, now I'm going to be accountable, and I'm going to be consistent and show up in a way that lets you know I'm a safe space for you, right? This person has been completely avoiding having to take the action to do that with you. And so this month, what I'm seeing is them understanding that they need to have some sort of conversation with you. The hard part is getting to the point where they take that action to do it, right? Bottom of your deck for your divine masculine energy says, I'm sorry I hurt you. So that's the underlying theme, right? For the reading on their end, is them kind of sitting in this regret now that another thing they tried to do isn't working out. I miss you every day, but I want to come back, and I've never forgotten you, are in the reverse. And that's exactly it. It's like they're sorry and they miss what they had with you, but at the same time, they either have not found a way to express these two things, that they want to come back, or that they've never forgotten you, or they still have yet to realize these two things, right? There's an energy of the masculine suddenly wanting very much to be independent, to stand on their own. And that's directly because of what they're seeing you accomplish. It's because of where they're at in their life and how they're seeing, okay, I've been building with all these karmics. I've been doing all this weird stuff. Everything I have is falling apart. But now I look at my feminine and here they are getting the fruits of their efforts and their labor. I want that. I want what they have. I want to be that too. I want to be the person that they share that with, which in all honesty is kind of convenient, right? That's kind of convenient that when this person's life is falling apart and you've been the ant who's working away and they've been the grasshopper off living their life. Now winter comes, right? And suddenly they're like, man, I really need to have this conversation with my feminine because, I realize it's getting kind of cold out here and I didn't really take the time to store anything to eat, right? They got a lot of stuff going on. They've got a lot of good things happening to them. I bet there's room for me over there. That's kind of difficult, right? Because what I'm seeing that's being created between the two of you for the month is the Magician and Y is the Wheel of Fortune. So unfortunately, I feel like this masculine has always kind of been in this opportunist energy. If you look back at the kinds of people that they tried to replace you with, or where were you and where were they when you first met, right? Is this somebody who sees people and says like, oh, they have more than I do. I need to align myself with them. Because there's a real insecurity coming from this side of the spread. The opportunity for them is the Emperor. So they could, step into this role of being what they would need to be for you to give them a time of day. I'm seeing that you're both creating something. It looks like for them, they're really trying to manifest an opportunity to have this conversation with you. And it's possible that could happen. But with what I'm seeing here, it's like they want you to be the one to initiate the conversation. So this is the energy of somebody just meditating on you consistently, thinking about like, oh, please remember how much you loved me. Please remember how much you missed me. Please reach out to me, right? It's like they're sending you these like frequencies of, oh, don't forget that you loved me, right? Because they want you to be the one to reach out. What's interesting about this is I do think you pick up on this. I do think you feel this because the bottom of the feminine's deck says, I feel disconnected from you, and that's in the reverse. So you're very intuitive and you're picking up on what this masculine is doing, right? But the beauty of this is you're like, I need you to say it, right? I need you to physically say the words. I'm not going to allow that twin flame connection to hoover me back in when you haven't actually said to me all of the things that you need to say, right? I need more than just to like, sorry, or I miss you. I need real accountability here, right? I want to come back. I've never forgotten you, as in like nobody has compared to you. All the things I've done have been fake and phony. Like say those words, Feminine, what's interesting here is you have, I'm tired of chasing you, and that's in the reverse. But your opportunity is for justice. So for you, this is very grounded energy. This is like, I'm not going to be swayed from where I'm at. Things are going really well for me. And that's part of your obstacle, is that you have moved on, right? Not maybe from the love that you felt from this person, but you've moved on from waiting. It's like, wow, Wheel of Fortune clarifying your side. You've paid yourself back what this person has taken. And so the hard part is this too little too late? And they're still playing in your energy to the point that they're like trying to manifest a conversation with you, but they're still not doing the things, right? Taking the initiative. I do think towards the end of the month, if you don't fall for like the mind trickery or the whatever, like I do see a conversation happening. I do see a message coming through. It's small though, right? And the hard part is you're in this really big energy. It's abundant. It's fruitful. It's like dynamic, right? You're holding boundaries for people where if they're not matching you at the level that you're on, that you've worked to be on. You simply don't have the time, right? You have Wheel of Fortune twice, your King of Pentacles, your Justice. It's like, no, I need you to show me, right? Don't tell me. I feel like there's very little that this masculine could say. But what's interesting is if they were to step into their Emperor energy, right, they would be able to start showing you that they cared, that they didn't do the work for a reason. You know, this person, it's weird because I feel like they are not transparent. They have a lot of secrets. They have a lot of doubt. They have a lot of insecurity, even though they don't show it. There's a lot of reasons why they think this could never work. And if you think back to when you first met them, they always felt like this could never work with you. You were too out of their league. So now that you're leveling up more and more and more, and they're just kind of spinning their wheels in the same puddle of mud they've been in, they feel you getting further and further away from them, right? Maybe communication between the two of you, like years will go by now, or months will go by, or weeks, in a way that never happened before. Maybe if they're leaving you on red, you're like, okay, whatever. And you're not following up and saying like, did you get my message? Or, hey, did you not see? Like, you're just like, whatever. Or if they're saying something to you, maybe you're slow getting back to them because they're starting to see that as time goes on, they don't have the same hold on you that they used to. This person, I think what you'll find out, if you don't already know, or you find out from this reading, or you just find out further down the line, they have a real issue with feeling like they can have what they want. For some reason, they don't feel like they deserve good things. They also feel like they don't know what they would even need to do to acquire good things. Like they don't have what is necessary, right? They don't have the strength of character, or they're an imposter in their own life. They feel like anytime they get what they want, it leaves. So this person could have experienced some kind of like loss. Maybe their parents got divorced. Maybe as a kid they didn't have a lot of stability, or maybe they were like bullied and they got something new and then some bully took it away. Like there's some deep-seated fear that if they find a way to go after what they want, if they find a way to be enough to obtain what they want, eventually it's just going to leave, because they won't be able to keep the momentum of being that thing, right? To keep whatever it is, right? Eventually you're going to see that they're just like a little kid that can't do anything right, or that they're not that cool, or there's like this real, oh my gosh, it's almost like this person is like, you know, Little Rascals, where they like were stacked on top of each other in a trench coat trying to open a bank account. That's how this person feels about themselves. Like they don't feel like they have the capacity to adult. They don't feel like they have the capacity to engage in a way that is on any level of like maturity. You know, oh, this person is so and I'm enamored when I speak to them. They're so intellectual. They don't feel like they have that. They feel like they could perpetrate that for a little while, but it would be so energetically draining, right? And that's probably why they choose the kinds of partners that they choose, so that they can just show up at the level that they're comfortable with operating on and still be above that person. With you, they always felt like they were miles below where you were operating, right? And now that you're doing all these things, and the thing is, it's not even now you're doing these things, you've been doing these things, right? But you're seeing the success from all this incremental, right, work. To this person, it looks like you blew up overnight. It looks like you're getting all the accolades and the money and the stuff. But that's because they were so busy, like screwing off with all these weird people and addictions and whatever. They missed the part where it wasn't fun. They missed the part where you were up late, studying or working overtime to pay off that debt or save for that house, or, you know, that you were grinding it out in the gym to lose that extra 10 pounds. Like they missed the process. They only see that you're on top, that you're winning, you're shining, you know? And so to them, it's triggering them even more. What's interesting too is that it feels like there's nothing but space and opportunity. whatever used to hold this person back is not a thing anymore, right? If they wanted to step into this Emperor energy, the portals of whatever are open, that this person could make this up to you right now. You get what I'm saying? You would expect that they stay in this Emperor energy. You would hold them accountable. You would expect them to take the necessary action steps. But as far as like outside influences or karmic partners or weird things happening, there's nothing there. That's what I'm seeing. Or it's coming to an end to the point that there really is nothing keeping this person from going all in with you, right? The only thing stopping them is themselves, and because you're shining, it's a little bit more difficult than it ever was because they've invested all this time in something that fell apart. And so they're coming to you with like a handful of crap and you're like looking at them crazy, look at everything I've accomplished in the time we've been apart. What have you got? So it's hard because they do look like an opportunist. They do look like they're coming towards you because you've leveled up yet again. And because now the financial aspect is there, right? A lot of what you've been manifesting will start coming into fruition if you're not already seeing signs of it coming in. Some of you are getting like a huge position or promotion, or you're getting some sort of like certification, like, oh, now you're a lawyer, right? You passed a bar exam. Like these are big things happening in your life. But it's like I said, through your own hard work, whereas this person's been kind of screwing off and now they see that you're shining. I see whatever is going on with them in this karmic that I saw in the bottom of the deck. That's not only over, but it's to the point that it's not going to start back up. Like this person would find someone new before they would end up back with the karmic, simply because it looks like they've kind of grown to really despise the karmic partner. There's blame here. They're blaming the karmic partner for not elevating them in the way that they thought that person would. So that's very interesting. I feel like with this situation, the way it is in September, you may try with this person because you have your I'm tired of chasing you in the reverse. And the reason why I think you'll try is because you will intuitively feel that it's open, that there is nothing stopping your masculine from being able to be with you this time. And that's probably like the first time ever. It seems like there was always something going on, a karmic, a whatever, a commitment, whatever. I don't know. It's going to be different for all of you. But you're going to look at this person and you're going to feel that they actually are in a space where they could be receptive to the love that you have to give them. They're receptive to the healing that you could give them, and they need it, right? So I see you trying with this person in the month of September, but then I see you, it's almost like you kind of pull back because you're feeling that you're getting out of your divine feminine energy, because this person it's like their karma, their energy, like everything kind of sucks because they haven't been dealing with their problems. And so whatever you give to them, it kind of feels like they're blocked, right? Which is weird because there shouldn't be anything stopping them. But what you're not realizing is in the 3D, nothing's stopping them. And in the 5D too, it looks like they're kind of getting the green light, but psychologically and emotionally, this person feels so far away from where they should be that that's what's stopping them, is their own doubt and insecurity. And I think that if you try to give to this person this month, you're going to pick up on that energetically, and you might start doubting your accomplishments or your ability to keep succeeding or thriving, because it's almost like contagious, right? So maybe just be a little bit mindful of this person's like bad energy affecting you. And I think you will be. I think you're going to go into this month and you'll probably hear from this person. You'll hear what's going on with them. You're going to want to help. And then very quickly, you actually pull that energy back because you're like, oh, this is knocking me out of alignment. I need to do something else. I can't do this with you, right? You have to be responsible for your own change because I was responsible for mine. Well, you were off doing all these things, right? I did the hard work and I did it by myself. and I didn't pull you down energetically, right? I didn't attach myself to you and drain you because things weren't going my way, you know. You do have some choices, both of you. I'm going to explore those a little more in the extended reading. I want to look into the future energy because it's like the divine masculine is so close to being ready for union. The only thing really stopping them is themselves, right? And the hard part is you've gotten into a space where you're very protective of who you've grown to be and what you've been able to cultivate. So I'm going to take this over to the extended. I'll put a preview at the end of the video. If you want to follow me there, the link is in the description box below, and I will speak to you soon. Bye. Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining me for the extended Twin Flame Love reading for the month of September. I've shuffled the deck. I've pulled your cards. I pulled a card for the bridging energy that will take us from the reading we just finished into the future. And I was excited. You got the Emperor, which is fantastic because in the public reading, we talked a lot about the masculine having an opportunity to step into this Emperor role, right? Pull the rest of the spread, and I am sitting here trying to figure out what in the world happened here because this reading takes a really interesting turn that based on the bridging energy, I can't say I was expecting.